Hello, everyone, and welcome back to 7-ish minutes at supper. And I'm so glad that you've taken the time again to click on this link and check this out. And so hopefully that this keeps us thinking on the Word of God, the things that we've talked about on Sunday and in and throughout the week. That this is just something that is an encouragement to you, and perhaps even something that you look forward to as we try to stay focused on Christ during this time and all times. And so, in saying that, I even think that maybe when this lockdown is done, this midweek 7-ish, emphasize the ish, minutes at supper may just continue, and I'm thankful for how God works in surprising ways. And so, saying all of that on Sunday, just speaking about God's grace and seeing it manifested in tracing it through the life of Peter, and so many things that we could talk about in all of our lives. And I kind of put it out there to any of you willing to share a moment of grace and how you have seen God's grace just manifested in your life in a powerful way. And so, Matt Fokkens Jr., who did the intro to our service this past Sunday, has volunteered very quickly, and I'm so thankful for Matt and love his heart. And so he is going to share just a real powerful moment of how God has worked in his life, and now how he sees God's grace in his life. And so I hope it inspires you, it encourages you, and so enjoy.
Hey, when I trace God's grace in my life, I feel like there's so many things that I could go to. Just what Jesus did on the cross for me, when I became a Christian, like my wrist, being surgically repaired and fully healed, and there's so many things that I could say was God's grace in my life. And when Todd preached that sermon on Sunday, I've come to realize that everything is God's grace in my life. How I'm able to breathe, as it says in Acts 17, like God holds and gives every single breath, and so I can honestly say that my whole life is God's grace. But one way that I really trace God's grace in my life is not a time, maybe in the moment, that I maybe thought was that God's grace could even be in that, but it was. And the reason that I want to share this is because maybe there's some other people that will watch this video. Maybe some people that are just that, or they know of someone in life where they feel like God is definitely not there. It was January 15th, 2016. I was getting married in a couple months to Sarah, and I was just getting ready for bed. It was about midnight on a Friday night, and I get a phone call, and and it's the police, and they're like, "Oh, Matt, we have some new. We want to talk to you." And I'm like, "Okay, about what?" I didn't think I'd done anything wrong, and so they're like, "Oh, we want to talk to you about your friend, Mikhail. He was my best friend." And I'm like, "Okay." I was like, "Oh, if you can come to the door, we're at your door." So I'm like, "All right, better throw some clothes on and kind of get out to the door." And so I go to the door, and I'm like, "Yeah, like what's up?" And I'm like, "Is Mikhail okay? Like what's what's going on? Like, do I gotta bail him out of jail?" And they said, your friend Mikhail is dead. He committed suicide." And at that moment, I didn't really know how I was supposed to carry on. didn't know how I was supposed to still get married that summer, knowing that my best man wasn't going to be standing up there. I didn't know how I was going to get through that night. I didn't know how, when I go and see him at his grave on July 25th every summer, how I'm supposed to get off my knees. I'm sitting there talking to him. But now I know the answer. And the answer is in 2 Corinthians 12:9. My grace is sufficient for you, Jesus said, for my power is made perfect in weakness. God's grace is what was able to lift me up off my knees from my front room floor when the cops told me that news. It's God's grace that helps me keep going when life hits hard. It's not my own strength. It's Jesus' strength that's made perfect in my weakness. May you experience God's grace as you dissect your life and realize that His grace is in every moment.